Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists of the pointless things where we fly by pointless statue in Booty Bay, because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 are the billy goats, and you might say, Crendor, why are billy goats on this list? Isn't this a list about rams? And you'd be correct, because these billy goats actually use the ram model, making them rams. And so yeah, these quote, billy goats are found at Fuselight in the Badlands. And so instantly when I saw this, I was like, this has to be in Pointless Top 10, right? Like, these things are called billy goats, but they're literally using ram models, which like, it's weird because there are goat models in the game. Like, as of, I believe, Mists of Pandaria, we have had goats, and we have gotten numerous other goats in things like Dragonflight and stuff, and yet they just never went back and changed out these rams. Maybe it's just an inside joke. Maybe they're just like, it's funny, you know, I mean, I think it's funny, but knowing Blizzard, it's probably just they don't care, right? Like, there's still goblins repairing Booty Bay, and they've been repairing Booty Bay for like 15 years, so I think these billy goats might always be rams, but that makes them pretty unique, and so that's why the billy goats are number 10. 9. Number 9 are the Frosthorn Rams, and the Frosthorn Rams are located near Frostblade Peak in the Howling Fjord. And there's nothing really special about these rams, they're literally just white rams, but I do think they look cool being in the snow, in the mountains, walking around, in the mountains. I swear, every single Pointless Top 10 at this point has an in the mountains reference in it, but I think they just look really cool, and they blend in with their white fur and everything. I also thought this would be a cool time to talk about some ram facts, or as they call them, bighorn sheep. It says here that one of the most recognizable features of a bighorn sheep is the ram's large horns, which can weigh up to 30 pounds. And there are two parts to their horns, a sheath overlying a bony core filled with blood vessels. And this helps the sheep to regulate their body temperatures as the climate changes. So look at that. That's awesome. You just see their horns and go, ah, that's just for ramming into stuff. But they literally use it for climate change. Like, if anybody's ready for climate change, the rams are. And also, one more fact, they have amazing balance, and they can actually stand on ledges that are only 5 centimeters or 2 inches wide, which is insane. Yeah, overall, these Frosthorn Rams are just normal rams, but normal rams are cool, so that's why they're number 9. 8. Number 8 are the Guildfur and the Steelfur Rams located in Bastion. And I believe these are just more of the same ram model that we've already seen, so they're nothing like special in terms of like unique ram models, but I just found it weird that there was rams in Bastion, but I guess I shouldn't because it's a very like mountainous zone, but it's just the fact that we're like, I don't know, in the afterlife areas and there's just rams all over, to the point where there was an actual thread in the Blizzard forums that said, why are there rams in Bastion? But I guess you could ask, why are there any animals in Bastion, right? And my two favorite forum responses were, rams live lives devoted to service and order, and there's also lots of pretty hills to climb, which that one makes a lot of sense. And then we also have Ram Ghost arrives in Bastion. Ram Ghost allowed to pick a form that they're comfortable with. Ram Ghost becomes Ram, which, I mean, that also makes sense. So overall, I wanted to put these rams on the list because I do like having some generic animals on all these animal lists just to appreciate them. And I think it's cool to appreciate the rams in Bastion because I think a lot of people either forgot or didn't even know that there's rams in Bastion. So that's why they're number 8. 7. Number 7 is Brisket, and Brisket is Forba Slab Chisel's ram mount, and Slab Chisel led adventurers ride on Brisket to Menethil Harbor during the Onwards to Menethil quest. And Brisket actually uses the same model as the Swift Brown Ram, so you can get your own Brisket. However, it won't be Brisket, it'll just be a Swift Brown Ram that you can name whatever you want, but you could name it Brisket. And I decided to put Brisket on the list for a few reasons, one of which is they're one of the few named rams in World of Warcraft. Like, you can actually count on your fingers how many rams are named in World of Warcraft, which actually kind of surprises me because I figured there'd be a lot of dwarf leaders and dwarf name characters that would have named rams, right? And so thanks to Forba Slab Chisel, we actually have a named ram named Brisket, and they actually do a good job of what they're supposed to do because during the Onwards to Menethil quest, they say the news needs to get to Menethil as soon as possible. I'll send you along on my fastest ram, Brisket. And so yeah, props to Brisket for being a cool named ram, and that's why Brisket is number 7. 6. Number 6 are the rams at the Amberstill Ranch, and I picked these rams because whenever I think of rams outside of like Brewfest, I would say, I always think of these rams because I remember coming here as a low-level dwarf and seeing these and being like, dude, I could get a ram mount? That's awesome. I want a ram. And so I think even compared to a lot of the other mounts, I think this is the coolest mount display because a lot of the other mounts, they're just like in a stable or in this little confined area, but I always thought it was cool that you're just like running around Dunmorrow and you come across this ranch and you just see all the ram mounts and then you talk to them and they're just like, oh, you got to get higher level to get your ram mount. It's like, dude, I got to get higher level. I got to get one of these rams. And so for me, this selection of the Amberstill Ranch rams, or I guess these are just like the ram mounts, right? it's a culmination of things. It's the aesthetic, it's the nostalgia, it's the environment, and it's the Rams. Because, I mean, the Rams are also very cool, right? All the different Ram mounts here are really cool. So I just really wanted to put them on the list. So that's why the Amberstill Ranch mounts, or the Amberstill Ranch Rams, are number 6. 5. Number 5 are the Ram Racing Rams, and the Ram Racing Rams look very similar to the Swift Brewfest Ram mount, because it is. And the big difference is that these are just given to you as racing rams that you have to hit with a whip or a thing or whatever, and then you get them to gallop. And I'm pretty sure everybody that's played World of Warcraft has done this quest at some point over the years. And so when you talk to Neil Ramstein, he says, "Now this is ram racing, almost. So you want to check out the racing rams? Well, I hope you're ready for speed, but before I let you loose in the world, you'll need to show me that you can handle these fine creatures. So here's the deal. I'll lend you some racing reins and the use of a ram. You need to prove to me that you can handle using these rams. Keep the ram at a trot, canter, and gallop for 8 seconds each. If you need instructions how to handle the ram, talk to my apprentice, Paul Amberstill." Which, hey, I imagine Paul Amberstill is tied in with the Amberstill Ranch. But yeah, the main reason I wanted to put these rams on the list is just because of the quest. I think everyone remembers this quest. You obviously remember being on one of these rams. You probably, tried to put it at a canter, a gallop, and then you went too crazy and the ram's like, and you got to eat the apples or whatever. So I thought it would be fun to put these on the list. And so that's why the Ram Racing Rams are number 5. 4. Number 4 is the Dawnforge Ram. And the Dawnforge Ram is a mount that you get by using the Summon Dawnforge Ram ability if you're a Dwarf Paladin. And so when you use this ability, it increases your movement speed by 60% for a little bit, and it's pretty cool. And there's other types of Paladin mounts that they get, but I think this one really does look the coolest. It's got the glowing blue anvil on it. It's got the Paladin-esque armor all over. It's got the little armor pieces on the tips of the horns as well. Like, I just think it looks sick. And I didn't even realize, because I never really played Paladin that much, that Dwarf Paladins used to just get a standard human horse Paladin mount. And this didn't happen until Battle for Azeroth, which I guess explains why this Dwarf mount actually looks really cool and not outdated or something, you know what I mean? And Dark Iron Dwarves actually get the exact same mount, but just with a different color scheme. But I think the normal Dwarf one just looks better. But yeah, overall, I think this ram is really cool, and that's why the Dawnforge Ram is number 4. 3. Number 3 is the Swift Brewfest Ram Mount, and the Swift Brewfest Ram Mount can be acquired by killing Corin Dire Brew during Brewfest. I feel like I just said brew like 5 times. I was getting tongue twisted there. And in the Mount Journal, it says dwarves attribute this breed's even temperament to rigorous training, but other races argue that a daily diet of strong ale has something to do with it. But yeah, I think the Swift Brewfest Ram has to be one of the most notable rams in World of Warcraft. Like, everybody knows about the Ram Mount. I mean, even back in the day, in like Burning Crusade, Wrath, like all that stuff. I remember going to Brewfest as Horde and trying to get the Ram mount because you couldn't actually get a Ram mount as a Horde player. So it was like, dude, if I get this mount, I'll have a Ram mount. And then everyone will be like, dude, that guy's got a Ram and he's on the Horde. But not only that, it actually looks really cool, right? It's got the glowing green eyes. It's got the barrel covering on its head, and then it's got the Brewfest saddle artwork there. Like, it looks really cool. And so that's why the Swift Brewfest Ram is number 3. 2. Number 2 is Tooth Gnasher, specifically Tooth Gnasher's skeleton, because he's not alive, and Tooth Gnasher is displayed in the Ironforge Museum in Ironforge. And Tooth Gnasher was clearly a massive ram, and it says here that the legendary ram is subject of much dwarven folklore and tall tales and holds a warm place in dwarven hearts. Children are told that if they are good, Tooth Gnasher's spirit will let them ride on his back. If they are bad, he will toss them on his horns. It also says here, when you actually read about Tooth Gnasher, that this is a scale replica of Tooth Gnasher's skeleton. The legendary ram was a wonder of Cosmodan and the subject of many tales of dwarven folklore. To this day, ecologists have been unable to account for the ram's freakish size or physical stamina. And so yeah, this guy is literally the Ram of Legends. And it says here that Tooth Gnasher's name was likely inspired by Tangrisnir and Tangjoster, the 2 goats who pull Thor's chariot in Norse mythology, and whose names mean teeth bearer and teeth grinder. So Teeth Gnasher, or Tooth Gnasher, I guess, is clearly a reference to that, and that makes a lot of sense because, Blizzard and the references. But yeah, I mean, Tooth Gnasher's got to be one of the coolest rams of all time, and that's why he's number 2. 1. And number 1 is Hoofcrack, and Hoofcrack is a Ramolith, which is a ram-shaped earth elemental that is found in Dornegal, and he is being pulled by Rod, and Rod is trying to pull him outside, and he says, "I know you like the inside, I do too, but you need sunlight, Hoofy, move! Ah, you'll never grow moss at this rate." And this is just a very pointless top 10 selection. I mean, out of all the rams, I saw this and I was like, I love this so much. Just, it has no meaning. There's no purpose. It's just all flavor in the world, and I just love the interaction. And one of my favorite parts about this is at nighttime, they're actually both asleep. You can see right there, they're both just asleep. It just reminds me of like a cat, even though it's this big Ramolith that just gives off, you know, cat or dog energy, and he's just laying there next to his animal friend. I don't know. I really like that. I think it's very cool. And then obviously they wake up the next day and then they go right back at it where he's like, get outside. And he's like, I ain't getting outside. If anything, Hoofcrack is the average World of Warcraft player. He does not want to go outside. So that's why Hoofcrack is number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. If you want more Top 10s, you can check out NPCs in the Middle of Nowhere from last week, or you could check out the 3+ hour animal compilation of Pointless Top 10s if you're in more of an animal mood, which includes pretty much every animal Top 10 that I've made. Also, like, comment, subscribe, and consider supporting the channel over on patreon.com/Crendor or by becoming a channel member. Okay? Okay. See you.